Hi, everybody. It's a beautiful evening. Beautiful evening to all of you guys. I just want to find out from you guys before we get started. Please tell me, tell me if you can hear me. Tonight we look at another interesting topics. We have these two hot issues. We're having the money lending issue, and also we have, of course, the minimum wage increment. All right. So, guys, give me, of course, give me your comment. Let me know if you can hear me in the comment section. That'll be fantastic. Excuse me for that. So, guys, good evening, everybody. Tell me if you guys can hear me. That will be quite fantastic. If you guys can hear me, man, that'll be fantastic. Okay. So we have two hot issues we need to discuss this evening. We have two really hot issues, and these issues, of course, they've triggered discussion, and we need to, I want to give my comments on what I think, and of course, what I think should be done going forward. So we have these two hot issues. We have the one for minimum wage, and of course, we have the one for money lending. So let me know if you can hear me. Guys, give me some comment. I think I'm having some stuff on my throat. I feel like I'm about to have some sort of or something. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. That'd be fantastic. Please give me some comment. So, guys, give me some comment. Let me know if you can hear me. Please give me a comment. Let me know if you can hear me. I would like to find out from you guys if you. All right. Fantastic. So, guys, give me some. Oh, fantastic. Bernadette says, I can hear you. All right, Bernadette Mokola, good evening. How are you? It's nice to see you here. Fantastic. If you guys can hear me, that is fantastic. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And I want us to just, to just discuss these two hot issues here. All right. Thanks, Bernadette. Of course, Taisia, thank you so much. Loud and clear. All right, fantastic. So, guys, I want to share an article with you that's going to form the basis for our discussion this evening. And of course, I'm gonna go into, the minimum wage. So let's begin with the money lending business first of all, because that's what we need to first of all start by talking about. There's a very hot issue, and I saw this issue today on Council Jerry's Facebook page. And there we go. That's the article I've just shared with you right there. So this is the article that has triggered me having this discussion with you, but because it's a very, very important article that Dixon Jerry did put up on his Facebook page this morning. Guys, this is an amazing article. It's a must read, especially this festive season, but also going forward into 2023, because this article is going to set a precedence of what's going to be happening, especially in the courts of laws. The high courts, they set precedents. The judgment by the high court is considered to be, to be superior to the judgments from the lower court. So when the high court makes a ruling, it sets a precedent. So going forward, this is a very, very important, extremely important information if you're into the business of borrowing money or if you're into the business of lending money. I do receive a lot of comments today from people. They ask me, shall we talk about money lending business? How can I start my lending business? How do I go about money lending business and things like that? Okay. So this article is coming from, let me just remove this top part here so that I just remain, with the one for Mr. Dixon Jerry. Mr. Dixon Jerry did write an article in the morning. And this is also what I want us to discuss, guys. Please pay very much attention to what we're going to discuss with this. This is very important for all of us going into 2023, but also this festive season. Now, Mr. Jerry put up an article, and this says, I'm going to read for you. It says, this is money lending, collateral, and sell. Money lenders, collateral, and sell. That's how it tells. So I've not edited anything. As you can see, I'm just going to read it the way Mr. Jerry wrote it, and then we are going to discuss. Mr. Jerry did write in the morning, and he said he borrowed 12,000 from moneylender and pledged his Mercedes-Benz C-Class as collateral. So a guy goes to somebody who lends money. He says, you know what, can you lend me a 12,000? I'm going to give it to you back by month end, because usually money lenders in the compound, they're Shylocks. If you get 12,600, you multiply that by 1.3, you get 12,600. It was told he was going to pay back how much? He was going to pay back, of course, 15,600. That means that the percentage was 30% interest on top. So this is a guy goes to get 12,000 and he leaves the Mercedes-Benz as collateral, a Benz. Now, as per agreement, the lender, this guy was meant to pay 15,600 inclusive of interest after a month and was therefore made to sign a sale agreement of the Benz. So the lender tells him, you know what, I'm going to give you back, I'm going to give you the money, 12,000 kwacha, but you sign the agreement to sell. All right, this is what the lender tells the borrower. Now, why is this important? It's important because the borrower is signing this contract when he is sober. Now, as fate had it, he defaulted. So the borrower did not pay back the 15,600. So what does the lender do? The lender then sold his car for 55,000 and was not given back the difference. So this guy, the lender, sells back the money, sells back the car after 1 month. When the client defaulted, he sold the Benz at 55,000. And what does it do? It squanders all the money. It does not give back the difference to the borrower. Now, here's what happens. The borrower, the lender, the borrower claimed that the car was actually worth 180,000 and not 55,000. So the lender insisted that the car was not in good condition, and in fact, the buyer spent over 7,000 fixing it. So what happens when the borrower learned that his car has been sold to someone else for 55,000? He goes to court. He complains. He says his car, his Mercedes-Benz, was worth 180,000 kwacha. But what does the lender say? The lender says, you know what? The car was not actually 180,000 kwacha because the person he sold it to incurred 70,000 fixing that particular car. So this is where the drama is going, guys. Please follow this one very closely. Now, the above summarized facts prompted the borrower to sue in the High Court, claiming that interest charged was high, which means it is illegal, and that it did not allow the lender to sell his car after default. So the borrower now goes to court. He sues the lender because his Mercedes-Benz is gone. He bought 12,000 kwacha and he's lost his Mercedes-Benz. Have you seen? Now, what happened last week? This is a real case, guys. Last week, the High Court judge, Kazimbe Chenda, made the following important points after analyzing the case. Now, here's what the judge said last week. This is happening in our country just last week. The sale agreement for the car was valid as it was signed with free will. Notice, the judge tells the borrower, you signed the sale agreement that if you don't pay back the 15,600, the car was going to be sold, which means that sale agreement was valid. It was not illegal. This is how things turned out in court. However, there was evidence to show that the car was not an outright sale, but collateral linked to the loan, even though the letter of sale did not say so. So here the judge is recognizing the fact that, you know what, the car was sold on the premise that it was used as collateral, and in an event that the borrower defaults, the lender has the authority to sell back that particular asset. And because of that, the judge said the letter of sale was valid, binding, and enforceable. Point number 2, what the judge said. The judge said, when a car was placed as collateral on as-is basis, you cannot claim later that it was not in good condition. You bear the cost of repair as the lender or buyer. Now, notice what happens here. The seller, the lender now, the borrower now is being told by the court that, you know what, the car was sold, it's okay. The letter of sale was valid. It was legal, it was legally binding and enforceable by law, which means that the lender was in his right standing when he sold the vehicle. There's nothing illegal about selling the vehicle. It's okay to sell the vehicle. So here, the borrower has lost his Mercedes-Benz. But again, the court says when a car was placed as collateral on the sale on as-is basis, you cannot claim that it was not in good condition. So now the lender was claiming that, you know what, the car was not in good condition. That's why I sold at 55,000. the one who bought spent 70,000 fixing it. That's irrelevant, because when the borrower brought the car to you as collateral, you must have checked it and you accepted it in that particular condition, which means the condition was okay. This is what the judge is telling the lender. So you can't claim that no, it wasn't in good condition. No, that's out, because we checked it before we gave out the money. So you, the lender or the buyer of the car, you bear the cost of repairs as the lender or buyer. Now, it follows that the defendant, having transferred with the plaintiff over the vehicle on the basis of the letter, cannot cry foul of that kind of thing we talked about. Now, number 3 is what I like. The judge said, after selling the car, the lender should have rendered an account to the borrower and hand over the change less the costs incurred. So what the judge was telling the lender was that, you know what, you had the right to sell the vehicle, yes, because the offer to sell was valid. But after you sold the vehicle, the lender was supposed to go back to the borrower and say, you know what, my friend, I gave you 12,000 kwacha. You were supposed to pay me 15,600 kwacha. I sold your vehicle. I've gotten my 15,600 kwacha plus any expenses that I incurred to sell this particular vehicle. Here is your change. The lender did not do that. He squandered the whole 55,000 kwacha alone. So the lender was therefore in breach of the law and should return the change to the borrower, if any. That's what the judge said. And the judge further said, I thus find that the defendant breached its statutory duty to account to the plaintiff. That's what the judge wrote. So now the lender now was told, okay, you sold the vehicle at 55,000. You're supposed to remove your 15,600 plus any expenses we incurred to sell, and then give the remaining to who? Give the remaining to the borrower. Now, the interesting part here was point number 4. The judge said that the interest charged on the loan of 30% per month was against the law. Now, Shylocks, if there's any Shylock here, please get this straight. Because a lot of Shylocks give interest, even 50% in the compounds. You get 100, you bring back 150. You get 5,000 kwacha, you bring back 7,500 kwacha. Now, the law says 30% per month is against the law. So the correct interest was reduced from 30% per month to 30%, guys, per year. Now, you can imagine 30% per year. Now, if you divide 30% per year, 30%, that is, from 15,600. If we move the 12,000 from that amount, you are remaining with 3,600. Divide that one by 12, which means that in a month, the interest rate which was required to be given to this particular gentleman was 300 kwacha per month on that 15,600, that 12,000 kwacha, which is a very small amount of interest. So you have to understand before you enter into money lending business what may happen to you in an event that your client defaults. Now, look what happened again here. So now it was therefore that, excuse me, it was therefore that the interest under the loan agreement is way beyond the permissible statutory limit, illegal and unenforceable. That's what the judge said. So here, the lender now also lost, because the lender is sold the car 55,000 kwacha. The judge tells him, you know what, the interest you charge per month of 30% was too high. It was against the law. You are supposed to only charge 30% per annum, which means in a month at that 12,000 kwacha, the lender was supposed to simply receive the 300 kwacha. So now the lender is meant to pay back the monies, of course, to the borrower. Now, at the same time, what I found interesting was that both the lender and the borrower are upset at this particular time, because the borrower was thinking the car was worth 180. It's not fair to sell my 180,000 Mercedes-Benz for 55. The lender also is upset because he was thinking that the interest was normal, and he got the money used perhaps, and is being told the interest he charged was illegal. He's supposed to charge 30% per year, which is reducing him to 300 kwacha per month. So both the lender and the borrower are pissed off at this point, because nobody's happy. The borrower is losing out on his vehicle. The lender also is losing out on his interest, which he thought he was going to get, and now he's supposed to pay back to the borrower the remaining amount and the actual interest was supposed to charge. So everyone at this point is upset. Now, what are the take home from this judgment? And here's what Mr. Dixon Njere said. He said, when you voluntarily sign the sale of your property as collateral, you cannot turn around and say you did not agree. However, if the sale is linked by evidence to a loan, that sale will be taken as collateral by the court. Number 2, it says moneylender should always make sure that the interest charged on the loan is not beyond 48% per year. Anything beyond that will be declared illegal by the court. So when you are in the money lending business, your annual interest per year should not be more than 48%. A lot of you Shylocks in the compound, they charge 50%. That's illegal. If you go to court, you're going to lose out on that particular amount. So do the right thing. Now, again, here is the other issue. When the car is sold on this basis, you cannot come back and later and claim that the vehicle is 40. You take the risk. So when you accept collateral, in short, you take the risk of that particular collateral, whether the asset is damaged or whatever it is, bad condition, because you've accepted it as collateral, you've checked it, so you take the risk. So Mr. Jerry ends his comment by saying, think twice before borrowing, especially during the festive season, and read what you sign and make sure you understand the terms and conditions. If in doubt, consult lawyers. And this says, for details, read the case of Chisanga versus Muzanga Limited, 2022/HPC/0257. And this says, easy students is a must read. All right. So, guys, this is a very important issue relating to money lending business. Now, why did I think this was a good thing to talk about? Partly because we're in the festive season. Some of you have borrowed money. Some of you have given out money to other people who may default, who may not be able to pay you back. So you must understand your position when you're giving money to somebody else. The court does not allow you to charge 50% per month, even 30% per month. This man, the lender, was losing out on the money that he charged. All right, he was supposed now to pay back the money to the borrower, but the borrower also lost out a Mercedes-Benz of 180,000 kwacha for 12,000 kwacha only. So in the past, why this case is special? In the past, people would come to you, borrow your money, they default, you go to court, you lose. In the past, used to be like that. So if this was some years ago, this man, the lender, could have lost the case completely. But the judge made a very, a fantastic ruling. He says, what, you sign the letter of sale when you are sober, and that letter of sale, because you are signed when you are sober, is binding and enforceable. But also you, the lender, the interest you're charging is too high. You're supposed to charge 30% per year. So whatever you sold, get your cost of sales, give the difference to the lender. So in this case, both the lender and the borrower lost out. Everyone was pissed. But who was more pissed? The one who was more pissed was the lender, the borrower, because he lost a Mercedes-Benz for 12,600. How much is the Benz? It's expensive. So before you borrow money, guys, this is the festive season. Please live within your means. Do not go out borrowing money which you can't afford to pay. Live within your means. And now going forward, now we're going to see more court cases coming up, because this case is going to set as a precedent. Look at where it was taken. This was from the High Court, right? It was from the High Court. Now the High Court is the higher court. The decision by the High Court is considered to be binding on the lower courts, which means a lot of people that are owing money going into 2020, they're going to be going to court, and this ruling is going to be upheld by a lot of, it's going to be considered by a lot of lower courts. So please, guys, don't go and borrow money on the premise that you're going to go to court, then the lender is going to lose money, or don't think that, you're just going to charge somebody 30% interest or 50% interest, and then you get away with it. It won't happen like that if they default. This is a very fantastic case. I thought you guys should be able to know about. So to help you stay out of debt, guys, just live within your means. It's simple. When you're broke, you're broke. Sometimes it's okay to stay broke. Right now, some people are alive because they are broke. People have died over the weekend. Some of them were drunk and driving. They had accidents. Some of them died, killing innocent people. So when you are broke, sometimes it's a good thing. All right? Live within your means. Do not try and over borrow money from Shylocks. Shylocks are short-term lenders. They capitalize on the ignorance of people. So if you're having a Shylock who is giving you troubles, can you sort this thing out, or you can go to court? It's going to turn out very different for both of you. Let's go to the second issue. So guys, tell me what you think. What do you think about this issue? The article by Council Dixon Jerry. Tell me what you think. I think it's a very important article, and I think it's important for us to be able to understand and know how these things operate. Now, let's go to the next issue for the day. The next issue for the day is the minimum wage. But in the meantime, let me check through the comments. Let me see, guys. Tell me what you think. What do you think around this issue? Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think regarding this issue. I think it's a very important issue, and I think that all of us should be able to give it, should be able to give it some thought before you borrow money. Live within your means. Don't over borrow, because don't end well for you in court. Like what happened last week for this particular lender and the boy. Imagine losing a Benz because you got a 12,600. It sounds so unfair, but the law is the law. All right. So, guys, tell me in the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Please let me know. I'd like to know what you think. And now let's get into the next one. The next one is the minimum wage increment. Now, guys, why are we talking about the minimum wage increment? Why I'm going to the minimum wage increment now is partly because it's also another important issue. It's also another very important issue here. And this is important because now we're in the festive season. All right. If this instrument is presented and is effected, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. So this is not the time to drink your monies out, because your jobs, some people, if you are within this threshold, you should know your jobs are at risk. A lot of people will lose their job. Now, let me add some light to this, okay? Let me give you some background to this issue, and then I give you why I say people will lose their jobs. Let's go to what the Ministry of Information had provided earlier today. Okay, so earlier today, the government Ministry of Information said the government approves recommendations for upward adjustment of minimum wage. And this is the statement that was put across. They said government, through the Minister of Labor and Social Security, has approved the upward adjustment of the minimum wage for domestic workers. That is number one, domestic workers, people like house helps, people known as the maid, garden boys and stuff like that, shopkeepers and employees covered under the general order. So I'm going to share with you a statement here about the general order. So the ministry also said that this follows the conclusion of consultations with the tripartite constituencies and other key stakeholders on the revision of the minimum wages and conditions of employment for the vulnerable categories of employees. The adjustment represents government's continued effort to improve the welfare of workers. Attached is the table on the recommended upward adjustment of the minimum wages for the said categories of workers. And here's the most important statement. The adjusted wages will come into effect. Notice that, guys. Let me just even highlight it. The adjusted wages will come into effect after government issues the statutory instrument. That's a very important statement. Now, let's look at the details of this report. So the minimum wage is going to go up, right? Now, let's look at the details and we'll talk about the consequences, the possible likely outcomes of this particular issue. So let me take you through, let me share with you this one. You guys, give me your comments. I want you to tell me what to think about the first issue, the money lending business, the consequences of that, and tell me what you think about the judgment. I feel the judgment, it was quite amazing. It was very unique. You tell me what to think. So let me share with you something here again, so that we can now discuss looking at the numbers. Okay, let's go and look at the numbers. What this means for your jobs. For those of you who are falling within that category, you are not safe. Don't spend your money this festive season. Do not squander your money, because it may be the last you're getting. Okay, so just to be honest with you, I'm not going to beat about the bush. Okay, so there we go. So now that's the category, of course. From that statement we just read, this is what the government now is saying here. They're saying statutory instrument number 69, domestic workers order of 2018. We have domestic workers, people like the house helps, these are like the maids, gardening boards and stuff like that. The wage was about 993.960. Now it's gonna go up to 1,300. And then they say that grade one, this is a good example, could be a handy person, such as office orderly, those people you send at the office, but put stuff in the office. 1698.6 to 2,300 13.1. That's the new amount for the office ordering, right? Now, what this means, it means that the companies are going to be incurring lots of costs, but the revenues have remained the same. There's no money coming in the company. There's no more money coming, but the companies are expected to pay more salaries to their workers. So this will not tend very well for small companies because a lot of employees are going to lose their jobs. This is the law. You can't fight the law. So it's either you obey or you don't employ anybody. This is why it's dangerous for people that are falling within these categories, because if I'm as an employer, you are my household, I can't afford to pay you 1-3. What do I do? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna call somebody from the village, some relative from the village to come and stay with me and help me. And maybe, so it's going to be difficult for people that are within this threshold. It's a good move by the government because they are thinking about the people, but it's a bad move for the business because now as a business, you are going to incur more expenses, but your revenues are not increasing. Your expenses are going up. What that means, it means either you downsize or you obey the law. So which one is the easiest way? The easiest way to downsize or to agree with people, what, I'm willing to let you go, or if you like, you can get this amount of money. But again, if the people from the office come to your company, you are in trouble. So which one is the easier way? Just let go if you can't afford to pay. This is why there's a problem. Look at this pay for driver, sales assistant, people at park staff. It was 1994.40. Now it's going to go to 27. Do you know the difference, guys, between 1994.40 to 27? Let me just get the difference. Let's say the new pay is about it's 27. It's 27, of course, it's 2722.57. We remove from that amount 1994.40. See what we have. We have 728. So 728. Let's say you're a company, you have 10 drivers. You multiply that one by 10 drivers. That means you're going to have an increased amount of 7,281.7 in salaries. Now, if you're a small company, that's good. That's going to be huge. But imagine now a big company that have got hundreds of drivers, which means if you multiply that one by 100 people, it's a lot of money. Which means now it will be easier to downsize on the workforce so that you save some costs, especially if your revenues are not going up. So looking at this one, the grade 4, there's assistant bicycle assembly, people in manufacturing companies are going to lose jobs a lot. This is just a fact, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat you. It's a good move because the government is thinking about citizens, all right? But at the same time, it's a risk, partly because very few companies will afford, very few people will afford to pay these amounts. And that's what the problem is. For the government can afford to enforce this because they're the ones who are making this particular law. So they're going to pay their workers in the government, people that are cleaners, whatever it is, they'll get the actual amounts. But for the private sector, and the private sector is apparently one of the biggest employers, so they will not afford most of these increments. It will be difficult. People will lose jobs. Now, what this means, it means this is the time to start thinking about business. This is the time to start saving your monies. Don't spend your money this coming New Year's Eve, because that will be, this money you're getting this month may be your last money you're getting paid from your company. It may be your last money, guys. It may be your last money. So you can see these amounts here. These are not small amounts. These are big amounts. And if you're not careful, this could be your last salary. You can look at that. So this is a good move. Like I'm saying, I'm maintaining my statement. This is a good move by the government to increase payments in this particular area. But at the same time, it is posing a threat. We're not saying that it's a must people are going to lose jobs, but the likelihood when people are going to lose jobs is quite high, because in 2023, the World Bank and IMF both said that the global recession is imminent, is possible, which means the cost of living is going to go up. Difficult to access funding. Loans are going to be expensive. Now, what that means, it means small-scale entrepreneurs will not afford to employ a lot of people. A lot of companies have to cut costs, and cutting costs means letting employees go. You only pay essential workers. So this festive season, guys, I come to you as a servant tonight, all right, to just come and share with you. Keep your money tight. Don't spend your money this festive season unnecessarily, because the salary that you have may as well be the last salary for the year. So, guys, I want to hear from you, okay? You tell me, and I have some talk time that I want to give out. I have a lot of talk time. I bought some talk time in the morning for about 500 kwacha. People did not finish when we were giving out talk time in the afternoon. So I still have a lot of talk time on my desk that I would like to give you for MTN. I think I have for about 200 kwacha remaining for MTN, which I would like to give you now. All I want to hear from you guys, just tell me in the comment. Tell me what you think about these two cases we've discussed. About the minimum wage, what is your concern? What do you like about it? How do you see it? About the money lending business, tell me your experience. What are the do's and don'ts? What do you think of the case that we just discussed? Okay, and I want to give some talk time. All right, I want to give some talk time. So all you do, just tell me. You can either come on my screen live. I think let me share a link in the comment if you want to come live. So that those of you who can't afford to type, you can just come live. I think it's faster that way. I've put a link in the comment. Of course, you can click that link to join me live. Tell me what you think about the two issues, and I'm going to give you some talk time. Yeah. So there's a link in the comment section there. Let me hear from you guys. Tell me what you think. All right. So what we have, okay, Chisi, good evening to you. Thank you so very much for that. Let's see Sandy. Sandy says, I went into money lending to make some money from my workmates who were always broke. I wouldn't call myself a Shylock, but it helped me pay for school. Exactly, Sandy. Well, whether you could call yourself a Shylock or not, that's the fact. You're a Shylock. Sandy, you're a Shylock. That's the technical term. You're a Shylock. If you're lending money to your employees, you're a Shylock. Now, I've also done that business before, guys. And I actually do that business. But I'm going to tell you that it comes with risks, especially when it comes to legal issues. All right. It's good to see you, Mr. Lucky Chama. Thank you so very much. It's good to have you here. Let's see this. I have thought a lot about this minimum wage issue. It's a good move for employees, but employers like SMEs will have a problem with it. Some employers might lay off workers, but I think it has some room for negotiations and maybe reductions in working hours. Yes, that's the point. There's room for negotiations, especially Sandy, for somebody, for example, if your salary is above, because the highest amount on this list is about 4,000. Now, what about people that get 6,500 kwacha? Here's what the problem is. Let's say your salary is, let's say your salary is 7,000, all right? And with a 7,000 kwacha salary, you're able to pay your household 1,200 kwacha. So you deduct 1,2 from 7,000 kwacha, you have about 5,800, which is a reasonable amount. But now, if you're going to be paying somebody 2,300 or 1,600 from 7,000 kwacha, it's going to be expensive for you. So which one is better? Either to let them go or to negotiate with them and tell them, you know what, I can't afford to pay you 1,600, or I can't afford to pay you 2,300. If you are willing to get what you're still getting, you can keep your job. But if you're not willing, I'm going to have to let you go. So there'll be room for discussions. I think, Sandy, you're very right. So you can discuss, you can negotiate. It's like someone with a degree, with a master's degree. Don't fall in that category. You can negotiate for a salary. Yeah, I think you're very right, Sandy, on that one. So, guys, if you want to join, you want to come live, just click on that link. Let me know what you think. And of course, I have some talk time I want to give you out, guys. I have 200 kwacha talk time for MTN, which I would like to give you out just now. This remained in the afternoon. We're giving out talk time in the afternoon. Let's see. There's a comment. It's a good move for employees, but it will affect the employers. Yes, employers, especially the SMEs. No, for the government, it's okay because they will enforce it. But for SMEs like myself and several others, who will not afford to pay a lot of people's amounts. I'm not saying it should not be done. It's a good thing. People should get paid because the cost of living has gone up. That's just the fact. Now, what the problem is, the cost of living is going up, minimum wage is going up, but sales have remained the same. That's what the problem is. Unless your business is generating more money, then it's going to be easier for you to implement it. But if your business is stuck, you're not making more money, it will be difficult to implement such kind of of an increment. It's a good move for employees. I agree. It's a good move. It's just dangerous for employers, because employers will let you go. So if you are within that threshold, please keep your money very safe. That's my comment to you. Keep your money very safe. Bernard says money lending business is risky. Worse if you are not registered. Exactly. If you're not registered, guys, don't enter into money lending. You will lose out big time. I once started lending money, and one particular guy refused to pay me. And looking at my situation, I didn't have the papers, and the interest rate I was charging was quite high. So to let him be. That's very true. This is what happens, guys. This is what happens in money lending. If you're not registered, please don't give out your money, because these guys, they know that you're not registered. They'll take advantage of you. You go to court, you lose because you're operating illegally. You're going to lose. Like that case we just read earlier today. So if you want to start a money lending business, can you please register your company? And can you please follow the interest rates prescribed by the law? So that when you go to court, you don't lose out on anything. If you don't follow the law, you're going to lose big time. Like what happened in that case we read earlier from Counsel Dixon, a very intelligent lawyer, very smart lawyer. Okay, there's a question here from, of course, Rufeo Banda, says, what of commission-based salary? Okay, for commission-based salary, I'm not sure about that one, but this is, unless if it can be established that it falls within this, then we can say it can be part of it. But for now, I wouldn't comment on that one because I'm not very much sure about it. Yeah. So guys, tell me what you think about money lending. And also tell me what to think about, the minimum wage. All right. So the minimum wage, guys, like I'm saying, I'm here to just remind you, keep your money safe. Keep your money safe. Commission-based wages. Of course, commission-based is different because commission, you are paid on the commission. That's the problem. If you are getting a commission, you are paid based on your performance. So we have somebody there. We have Bernard Chongo. Yes, Mr. Chongo. Good evening. Welcome.
Evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you too.
You are a Charles fan.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Talk to me, Bernard. What do you think about today's issue?
Yes, I can say this is an important issue that we can able to discuss on. And looking at the minimum wage, we have to understand to say every change, it has got its own advantages and also its own disadvantages. So if you look at in this case, we are talking about employees, and on the other side, we are talking about employers. So on the part of the employers, it is an advantage looking at the cost of living that we are experiencing today. Like if you look at the result, which was published by that Catholic organization concerning the cost of living, Lusaka is one of the expensive towns to live in. So which simply means that this minimum wage that the government, they have adjusted upward, it will give advantages to the employees. But let's move away from that and talk about the employers. And to say in an organization, one of the biggest costs that this organization incurs is the salaries and the wages. So now they are going to see how best they can able to reduce the cost so that they can able to increase the net profit that they are making at the end of it. And we can't even detach ourselves from the economic variables such as demand and the supply. You will find sometimes business is fun. Sometimes you find that you cannot have any customers, which simply means that you are not generating the revenue. But at the same time, we have to pay for the fixed cost and also the variable cost, which is salaries and the wages. So now, what the employees are going to do now, they are going to lay off some of the employees so that at least they can able to remain with something which is going to sustain the business either in the short run and even in the long run. That is my take on that one.
Fantastic. That's a very big point. And I like what you've mentioned, Bernard. The fixed cost for the business will remain the same. That's what the problem is. So that means that now the companies are going to have increased fixed costs because of salaries, but also there's going to be
Yes.
other variable cost of production. So the
Yes, sir.
only easy option for an employer is to lay you off. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
Bernard. I really appreciate. Thank you very
Thank
much
you, sir.
for your comment. And what
Thank you,
network
sir.
can I give you? I have some talk time, Bernard. I would like to give you some talk time. I have M10 for 200 kwacha,
Yes, sir.
and I would like to give it out. I have a lot of talk time. What network? Can I give you some talk time for M10?
Yes, I am 10. It's fine, sir. I appreciate.
All right, fantastic. So I'll be able to inbox you once we are done. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
sir.
I'll
Thank you.
inbox the talk time.
Okay,
All right,
sir.
guys, that was Bernard Chongo. Thank you very much, my friend. Yeah, that was fantastic. Anybody who has a comment, guys, please, there's you can just click on that link here to join me and share your views. What do you think? Let's discuss these issues. Financial literacy has got to do with inclusion. We have to be involved in our finances. We have to understand the economy and how it's going to affect us. So in 2023, guys, some of you may lose employment. And we are here to remind you, keep your monies very well. All right. So guys, if you want to come live and give your contribution on what you think about money lending or the minimum wage, please click on that link, come live and give me your view. I also have some talk time to give you. Just tell me what to think and I'll be happy to share some talk time with you. I have empty talk time for 200 kwacha this remains in the afternoon when we are giving out talk time. So I'll be happy to give it to you. So anybody coming live, just click on that link and come through and let me know what you think. And I like what Brand is saying. Companies incur what is called variable cost, the cost that increase according to levels of activities. But the problem is that what if your business sales are not going up, but you have to pay a higher minimum wage? Now, listen, guys, the minimum wage, there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay because the cost of living is high and the people can't keep receiving peanuts. What the problem is on the employers. And I strongly feel the government should come up with a debate policy that when they enforce a minimum wage, all right, no employer should fire an employee within the first 3 months. Guys, tell me if you agree with my opinion. I think the government should come with a policy where if they increase the minimum wage, they implement a law where they say no employer should fire employees within the first 3 months. This is to allow employees are going to be fired to have a starting point. Because like now, what's going to happen is that some employers will simply wake up and say, because some employers now have a chance to fire some people, they're going to say, well, this is a good move. So for some employers, they are happy because now they have a reason to fire somebody. And I feel that the government should put a debate post to say, if we increase the minimum wage the way they've done, no employer should fire an employee within the first 3 months. Guys, tell me what to think. Please, you can come live. There's a link you can click on in the comment section. Just come tell me your view of that. And why I suggest that, I don't usually ask from the people that are in authority because I know that our platform is followed by people who have some measure of authority here. And sometimes they tell me, no, young man, you're doing well. Right? So that's why I'm asking if the government can also, can also come with a policy to allow employers to force them not to fire anybody within the first 3 months after the implementation of the minimum wage. I think that's going to be a plus. So people that are in employment should not just wake up one day and lose their jobs. So what's going to happen, guys? Tell me what to think. Tell me what to think. I think that should be done. Tell me what to think. Ben says, yes, tell me what to think, guys. You may come live, share your contribution, share your views on money lending, and of course, share your views on the increment of the minimum wage. Come through, guys. There's a link in the comment section. I want to give you some talk time, guys. So far, there's just Mr. Chongo is getting talk time from here. Anybody else who wants some talk time, come through. There's a link in the comment. Share your views. I share some talk time with you. I want us to discuss this issue, guys, so that we can understand it and just help our friends in the compound, in our residential areas, to just understand that 2023 will not be as easy as people think. This December, guys, protect your cash flows. Keep your money tight. Don't spend unnecessarily. Especially if you fall within that threshold of minimum wages. Don't misuse money, guys. Live within your means. If you can't keep money, give it to your wife. I assure you she'll keep it safe for you. Just get all your money, give your wife, say, mommy, keep this money. Believe me, that money will stay. It will not go anywhere. Because wives, they like it when you give them to keep the money, they keep it well. Guys, okay, we have All right, we have okay, we have Mr. Chama. Mr. Chama, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. You are on mute. You may want to unmute. You are muted, Mr. Chama. All right, fantastic.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
Indeed,
all right,
Mr. Chama, how
thank
are you?
you.
Indeed.
Fine, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Pretty shy of you.
All right, yeah, I've followed your this discussion and also your explanation regarding how this is going to likely affect.
Yes.
And also on the other side, like you mentioned, it's an advantage for the employees, whilst the employer is on the disadvantage in a certain way. Maybe also one thing, my concern has been the implementation. Even the previous minimum wage, I know of someone just this week or the other week who went to look for employment, and what they were being offered by the employer who happens to be Indian is way below what the minimum wage was. For instance, it was 800 for domestic workers. They were told to say they can only be given 400 kwacha, take it or leave it. So I think implementation is also another thing that needs to be followed by the government. In as much as they want to do this, I think they need to follow up. For those that can manage, like you mentioned, for those that can manage, they should be employed. For those that can't manage, I think they should avoid taking on these expenses, because the law may catch them and they may be caught on the other side of the law, which is costly for the business, and also as it may also take the legal turn of it. So I think, yeah, a very good one for the beneficiaries. That this is the employers. I mean the employees, whilst the employers may be on disadvantage on this one. But all in all, it's a good move.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Chama. Mr. Chama, I have some MTN talk time. Can I send some to you?
Thank you very much. I appreciate. I'm unable to switch on the camera. We are load shaded, but I appreciate.
It's all right. Thank you very much. We love your comment. And actually, I like what you said about implementation. Guys, implementation has been an issue. All right? It has been an issue. It has been a very big issue, but because the government may come up and say the minimum wage has gone up. But guys, how many people are getting what the government says they've implemented? How many people? Very, very few people get the actual minimum wage. Even just today, if we were to take a survey of how many people are currently getting the current minimum wage, let me just share this one with you guys. Let me bring it back here. This is why I like what Mr. Chama is saying. Let me just bring this one here. Let me just zoom it a bit so that I can show the current minimum wage, and then you tell me, guys, how many people that you know right now that are getting above this. All right, look at that. The current minimum wage, for example, for a 100-person office order is about 1,698.6. All right, which is going to go up to 2,313. All right. For a driver, it's about 1,994, which is going to go to 2,722.57. Guys, how many companies right now in this country are implementing the current minimum wage? There are very few companies. So the government is good when it comes to formulating policy, but also they are doing a very bad job when it comes to implementing of policy. Now, granted, guys, the government does what they are supposed to help us. As the SMEs are supposed to help the government, all right? How do we help the government? If you can't afford to pay the minimum wage, be honest, all right? But what the problem is, we have minimum wages on paper that have not been implemented. And guys, I want to hear your comment on that. How do you think our government has fared, especially in 2022, when it comes to implementation of minimum wages? Do you really think they've done a good job when it comes to implementation? Because what Mr. Chama is saying is true. The wage is good, but the implementation aspect of things is very bad. And I agree with him, because I know people that are doing very difficult jobs and they get way less than 1,994. They get some of them get 750, some of them get 800 kwacha per month. When we have the laws in place and the minimum wage is in place. So guys, tell me, what do you think? All right. Tell me what you think about the managing business as we discussed. Tell me what you think about minimum wage and whether you feel the government has implemented the minimum wage very well, or they need to improve? Tell me what you think they should be done when it comes to implementation minimum wages. Right? Please come through, guys. Feel free to come through. Feel free to come through. I'll be happy, to hear your views. We need to be having these conversations because they are good for us for planning purposes. All right. So we have a comment here on the minimum wage. It's a good move for the employees, but it has a negative impact on the employers because their salaries have not been increased, which is going to be hard for employers to pay their workers. That's very true. That's very true. We agree. We agree. That's very true. So, guys, you want to give me a comment? I have some talk time to share with you. All right. I have some talk time to share with you guys. Come through live. Talk to me. Tell me your views. I want you to tell me what you think. Do you think the government has done a good job in terms of implementing the minimum wage that they put in the past? Or what do you think they should do with this new minimum wage? And also tell me whether you agree. I'm suggesting that there should be a law that forbids employers to fire employees within the first 3 months of implementing the minimum wage. Because now some employers are going to be happy. They're going to kick out some people on the premise that they can't afford to pay them. So now employees their jobs are at risk. What's a good thing, but people should get higher amounts. Some people are at a risk of losing their jobs very soon. So you guys tell me what you think. Come live tell me in the comments, or you can come live. There's a link here. I like when somebody comes live because it's easier to just interact, to interact. So there's a link here which you can click, guys. There's a link which you can click to come live on the screen so that you can share your views. In case you don't know, we are being followed by people that are in authority on this platform. We interact quite a lot. So your views, your comments are very important. They are taken seriously. So come live, click on that comment there, click on that link to come live on the screen and tell me what you think. See, these are just my personal views, guys. All right? So share your views. Let's hear it. I'm suggesting for me that, let's have the government force employers not to fire people within the first 3 months of increasing the minimum wage, so that at least employees can avoid some planning, a period before they can lose their jobs. Like I said, you are an employee yourself. Now, this minimum wage is going to favor people to get low amounts of money. Now, let's say you are an employee. Like I said, you get 7,000 kwacha, and then you pay your employer 1,000 kwacha, 600. Now it's supposed to pay them 2,300 from your salary of 7,000, which means if you remove 2,3 from 7,000, you're going to lose for about 4,7 somewhere there. What will not be enough for you, because your salary as somebody who's above that minimum wage is not being increased. But for your house help, your garden boy, your driver, your office orderly, the salary must go up. So you're going to be forced to kick this person out. That's where the issue is. All right. So you guys tell me what to think around this issue. I appreciate your constructive feedback on this platform. You guys are very mature, and I think I have the most mature followers on this platform. You guys give me constructive comments. You ask constructive questions. I always value your participation. So come through live. There's a link in the comment section. I want to hear your views, and I also have some talk time to give you. When you come live, you get some talk time. You get your share. I have 200 square talk time for MTN. I think for Airtel it's finished. I'm running with MTN total about 200 kwacha. Come through. Tell me what you think. I send you some talk time. There's a link in the comment section here. Just click that link. Come through. Tell me your views, and I'll be happy to share some talk time with you. All right? Tell me what you think. These are some of the issues that we need to be discussing as citizens, as family heads, as people that are trying to grow financially. We need to understand the economy and how it's working so that you know what's going to affect you. Apparently, the dollar has been gaining against the kwacha. The kwacha is performing very poorly. All right. So going into 2023, things may just take a twist. Do not misuse money this festive season. Please, I repeat, protect your cash flows, because things may turn out to be very bad in 2023. Okay. So guys, tell me what you think. There's a link in the comment section. I want to give some talk time to somebody now. Just come to live. Tell me what you think. I share some talk time with you. Okay. There's a link. Click that link. Come through on the screen. Okay. Come through and tell me what you think.
And this happened.
Yes, Mr. Shongo.
Yes, sir. I want also to comment on what Mr. Chama was saying when it comes to the implementation of these laws. In my own personal opinion, I can say the government, they are not doing fine in terms of implementing. And that is where we are having a lot of challenges to convert what is written on the paper into reality, into something which is tangible. And today I was following the press briefing by the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Madam Brenda Tambatamba. She was saying they have got a department of inspectors where they can able to deploy them and see what is happening on the ground. And sometimes you find that that is not enough, according to my own opinion, because you find that even those people they sent on the ground to see if these companies or employees are obeying the laws of our nation, sometimes they are human beings. They can be easily manipulated because of money, and we can't talk about this issue minus corruption getting involved. So I would say I can suggest that each and every, like the first quarter of the first quarter of 2023, the Ministry of Labor, they should able to go for a meeting which involves these employees, so that to see how many numbers of companies are complying to the laws of our nation. Because if you end just saying that we have to deploy people to see what is happening on the ground, that one, it won't help us anymore. But we need to come up, like we come together, the ministers and also the employers, they come together and see the way forward and see how many companies are complying, and see the number of companies which are not complying to our laws of this nation. That is my take on that one.
Fantastic. And let me just ask you this one before you go. You see, you've made a very important point here, Bernard. I like that point. The minister did mention that they send inspectors to go and check. All right. That's one thing. Now, what I want to find out from you, because I've received information before from some people that even when they go to the labor office to complain about their conditions of service, people at the labor office are very reluctant to act. What's your opinion on that one?
Yeah, on that one, so I can say it's true. People in these labor offices, they are very reluctant. And you will find that at the top there, we can able to come up with the laws, they can able to implement, but you find that down there, the system is not responding well according to what they have implemented. So it's all about it's all about the mindset change. We have to change the mindset, and we have to know that we are serving those public offices in order to make sure that we protect the interests of the Zambian people whom we are serving, not the other way around. So it's all about the mindset change, and always we have to bear in our mind to say we are there to serve the interests of the Zambian people.
Exactly. Yes, Bernard, I really appreciate. There's a comment from Mr. Chama. I agree. Says well said. I think that's a very
Thank you, sir.
Made something that is very important. There's also, I think when it comes to labor office, that's where corruption also is. Partly because some of the labor officers are human beings. They may be tempted, by these guys to give them some change. They don't go and disclose even when they inspect. I'm going to share with you something I observed. At some point, I took part in some activity for some orphanage, where this man has a license and there's no capacity. He says was given the license because they said, because just helping people. Like the inspector just felt sorry for him and gave him the license to have an orphanage. All those are very issues that are supposed to be looked at in terms of implementation, enforcing the law. When you say minimum wage is supposed to be 1.6, 1.9, 2.3, can you enforce it? Don't just have the minimum wage on paper, but you can't enforce it. Enforce it.
Yeah.
If people lose their jobs, fine. But at least people have jobs. Let them enjoy the minimum wage. You can't have an employer fire people for a higher minimum wage and still not pay the remaining ones the actual minimum wage. It means it's a double win for the employer. It lets go some people on the product, I can't afford to pay them. But again, those ones that have remained, it pays them the same amounts.
You see?
I think that's a very fundamental point. But thank you very much for that.
You're welcome, sir. I appreciate
your constructive contribution. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Same to you, sir.
So, guys, That was a comment from Bernard, and I think it's extremely important. Implementation by the government has been very reluctant. It's been very slow. We have the wages on paper. Now, guys, here's the issue. We are the citizens, all right? The government does not know everything that happens in our companies. When you are working in a company and you feel that the company does not follow the minimum wage, you can report anonymously. You will not be known. Report anonymous so that you can be able to get a better. You are an employee, it's not free. When you work for a company, the company is benefiting a service from you. So you can help the government to enforce the law. Can you report anonymously? All right? So that if the employer is able to pay the minimum wage, they are going to be forced by the law to pay you the actual minimum wage. But at the same time, it's a two-way thing. You may lose your job because some employers will say, "What, I can't afford to pay this one, so I'll just let you go." But it's worth a shot, all right, to simply try and report anonymously so that we can help the government to help many employers to enforce it. Because some employers are greedy, they are selfish people. They are going to be happy to kick you out or to pay you less than you actually deserve to be paid. It's not free, it's an employment, it's a partnership. So feel free to ask for an increment, especially when there's a minimum wage. You can either report anonymously, go to the office, anonymously tell them, not in our company, I do this, I get this amount, please come through. So they will just come through without even announcing. No one will know it's you when to report. That's my advice to you. So guys, tell me what you think. We have a few minutes before we go. What do you think about the money lending business, the do's and the don'ts that we talked about? And so tell me what you think about the minimum wage. Has the government done a good job in terms of implementing the minimum wage that they put up? What do you think? What's your comment? What do you think could be done better by our government when it comes to implementation of the minimum wage? What's your contribution? You can come live on screen. There's a link in the comment that you can click there and come through, and I'll be happy to share some talk time with you. Guys, I have too much talk time. Don't you want some talk time? I have too much talk time on my desk. There's talk time everywhere on my desk. All these are talk time vouchers which I have on my desk. I have a lot of talk time vouchers here. I have a lot of them. And they are not even scratched. Yeah, they're not even scratched. They are not even scratched. So I'm going to be scratching them and sending them to you. So click on that link, come through, and let me know what you think. Okay? Click on that link, come through, and let me know what you think regarding our, our minimum wage. Tell me what you think, guys. Tell me in the comment section what you think, because and I think I like what Bernard has mentioned. Implementation, they say they have inspectors who go to check out into the companies or things are happening, but sometimes inspectors are human beings. They may be tempted to get some small money, they report something else. I think there should be a way of inspecting these companies that is more effective than the current one, because the current one I think has not served the purpose. To some degree, we saw how some companies were ambushed on the media, yes, but I feel it can be done at a much larger scale. So the plight of employees is what is protected. Employees need to be protected also. They should feel free to go to the office and report such kind of issues. But what we have now, we have people, when the inspectors are coming, the same people from the labor office are the ones calling the employer. No, we are coming today. Do you know how I know this? It happens when the immigration officers are going through. The same officers, they call these guys who are foreigners. We are going around your shops. Don't come out today. The same one, they let them. You want to go and buy these things from this one, this guy from whatever country. They tell you they are not open today because inspectors are coming. How do you know? Because inspectors have caught them. So what do you think, guys, could have been done better? We have a comment from Mr. Chairman says in 2016 we went to labor office and it was a waste of time. We didn't get a fair judgment. Up to now, nothing. I have lost trust in that office. Hopefully things will change. I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. Guys, I have been to the labor office also before. In 2013, I went to the labor office. You know what I was told? I was given a phone number that go and see this person is found at Findeco House floor number, whatever floor they told me. You can just talk to him, who's going to help you. Several other guys, my workmates, had gone to the labor office as well. You know what happened? The officers there were demanding us to pay them something for them to help us. And then what happens? Sometimes you report to the labor office. The people from the labor office, some of them are corrupt people. What do? That was in 2014. I don't know about now. That was in 2013 when I went there. What did they do to us? The employer ended up paying them money and kicking out some of the guys in the company. So what Mr. Chama is saying is not, it's very true. I've experienced that also. For me, I was given a number. Go, no, yeah, for now, we can't attend to, but here's the number. Call somebody. You're going to meet this person at Findego's room number, whatever they told me that room. But I was thinking, but I've come to the labor office. Why are you diverting me to Findego's? Or maybe there's, I don't know if there's the office there, but they gave me a number for some guy at Findego's to go and meet. That was in 2013, some time back when I used to work for some company. All right. So indeed, guys, thank you so much for participation, guys. I really appreciate it. Now let me go off and send some talk time to you guys that came live on the screen. Guys, this was my contribution. This is my opinion of what I feel you should do at a personal level. Don't overspend your money. Live within your means. It's okay to be broke. Sometimes being broke keeps your life. People have died over the weekend because they were drunk and they were driving. They were involved in accidents. Also putting innocent people's lives at risk. So if you're going to drink, don't drive. At least don't put other people's lives at risk. It's not a good thing. So guys, is the increment for minimum wage bad? The answer is no. It's a good move. But we need the government to do better in their implementation. I feel for it to work, they should put a law which says no employer should fire an employee within the first 3 months of increasing the minimum wage. I think that will protect employees. So at least you benefit before you're fired. Yeah, so guys, thank you very much for joining me. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic. You always give me constructive comments. I love your participation. Thank you so very much, guys. Have a fantastic night. I'm going to meet you in our next episode, of course, of this kind of episode. So tomorrow we're going to meet you again with another hot issue. For now, it's bye-bye. Have a good night and, all the best.